I'm Micah. I wrote a book and self-published it, and it did pretty well on Amazon. Bam! I'll put it right there. I also publish a anthology every year, a horror anthology with a bunch of awesome authors, and it does really well, and it's all for charity. And now I help other people publish books, new authors getting into the self-publishing sphere. I help them do that, and every Friday I get to kick it with my girl and talk about all the awesome things. I like long walks on the beach, and I am 25 years old. Okay. Your turn. Go. We got
Okay.
2 minutes for an intro.
Okay. Chelsea here. I write books. I like to write dark epic fantasy. I show up on a couple of the anthologies Micah has done. Hopefully this year again. Let's just be honest. I have written The Blood of the Lion, The Mark of the Dam, The Dance of Destiny. Now, The Scars of the Wicked is coming out here. I am just pointing, hoping that it all works out. So, that being said, I've done a few short stories. I have written a dark kids book that is, I'm not sure if it's kids friendly, let's be honest.
Oh, it's great. It's very kids friendly.
Yeah.
Very kids friendly.
And I am a coffee addict and will find any way to drink my coffee. And I like music. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
So I wanted to talk about an article I read,
Okay.
and it's called "Publishing Leaders Share 9 Bold Predictions for 2025."
Wow. Talk to
Okay.
me.
Yeah, so I found it very, very interesting. I wanted to get your take, so we'll just go through each one, and
Okay.
I'll get your take, and I might put I might put them up on the screen so people can read them too.
Yeah.
Prediction 1: innovative new ways of consuming stories will emerge, while digital formats will continue to grow in popularity. So yes, ebooks is still rising, but now they're saying that because everything is changing, and they go on to say that it's going to be AI that is really doing this, but it's going to be more like narrated versions of the book. So we've seen these before where they actually take voice actors, but they actually like you get a bunch of voice actors and they do each role, like each part in the book is done by a different person, and then you have the
Yeah.
narrator and there's music behind it. It's like a full production. So they're saying more of that, but it's all going to be done via AI voices, AI music, all that kind of stuff. So your books, your Varelian Saga, basically you would feed that book into AI, and out would pop this audio format book, but it would be fully produced with music and voices and all the sound effects and all the stuff, but it would all be done via AI.
I can see it.
That's crazy,
Yeah, that's mind-boggling to me.
isn't it?
You and I have talked about this a little bit in texting, but the advancements that they've done with AI platforms for creatives,
Yeah,
whether you're in music, songwriting, books, presentations, a teacher, whatever
right.
that is, they have a mass amount of platforms budding now
Yeah,
for these individuals that
yeah,
you can utilize as tools.
yeah.
And it's such a fine line because, and might get picky about this, but indie authors don't make thousands of dollars,
Correct.
and you
Most
are
indie authors don't make hundreds or tens of dollars.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
let's
you
be
still
honest.
have a full-time job. You're still
Right.
trying to pay the bills of your life, whatever life household things you have, family, work, all of that. And I think these tools that are coming out are kind of cool, to be honest,
Oh yeah, I do
because
too.
they kind of create a different visual for your world, and
Right.
you get to have a lot more fun that isn't costing you tens of thousands of
Right.
dollars.
Right.
And
Now,
I
of
know for
course, the
me,
the
what?
the flip side, the con to that would be that all the live human people that would
And
would make that happen, that you'd pay
yep,
for, the voice actors, the
yep.
composers, the sound effect people, the engineers
Oh,
that would all make
absolutely.
that happen, they all go away.
Right. Well, they have a platform, and I just found this 3 weeks ago. They have a platform where AI literally creates and composes music, and
Crazy.
and that's what's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I don't know music enough to understand everything, all the nuances behind it, and so I didn't look too far into it. But I was looking around for royalty-free music for
Yeah.
a
Right.
different
Right.
some stuff I was looking at, and I stumbled on it, and I was like, "Is this real?" The and this is where I'm going to say it is such a fine line because I love working with real people. That's not going to change
Right.
at all. At
Right.
all. Like It is so cool. But when I see a beast of a book like mine, it is $5,000 to $9,000 per audiobook narrator
Right.
if I got my book narrated.
And that's just audiobook. That's
Yeah.
not full production other this new advanced form of media that they're talking about. That's just the audiobook.
Exactly. For a
Yeah.
book my size,
Right.
who the heck has that kind of money?
Right.
And so that's where I see the allure in those
Oh yeah.
uprising platforms, because if you have a beast of a book, and that's only one of my books, I have 4 books like that. That's
Right.
$36,000
Yeah.
that I would pay for an audiobook for 4 books.
Yeah.
Nobody got money like that laying around.
Right. No, it's
Now, and
ridiculous.
that's the thing, is like, there's this fine line of like, okay, don't abuse AI, but appreciate the advancements that they're creating for the marketing and the exposure that you can get for
Right.
doing things like this.
So you bring up a very good point. So remember that.
Okay.
Appreciate the AI for the marketing ability, things like that you said, right? Because I think it was point number 4 that is very interesting.
Okay.
But let's go to point number 2. Legal frameworks and licensing deals will develop to govern the use of generative AI as its adoption soars. And so basically what they're saying here is generative AI is both opportunity and challenge, and it's confusing at times because how most people respond to it. Right now, highly emotional and morally charged responses lead the way. It's hard to have a productive conversation about AI when people can't get past the outrage, fear, and disgust, often all 3 at once. So basically, they're saying that they're going to have to address it legally
Mm-hmm.
to make it accepted morally.
I agree. And
Yeah.
this is something I've talked about with family for a while, because I have a family member that works on the head front of generative AI in business,
Mm,
financial industries.
yeah.
So they are working with technology that the public doesn't see yet.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of insight that I get.
Yeah.
And because of this, I have brought this up in the past frequently, where I'm saying AI, the more and more legal guidelines need to be put on AI.
Yeah.
The Copyright Office in 2024, I think it was either early 2024 or late 2023, actually released a statement and kind of partially enacted a law that said we will not protect anything that is not made by humans. And so no matter what you if you created an AI cover and this was your book, AI cover, and you put your name on it, great. If Bob down the street saw that and he was also a writer and he liked the cover, he could pull that cover from you, put his name on it, and he could publish it. And the original author can be like, well, that was mine, and try to put a lawsuit against it. And the Copyright Office is saying, nope, no longer. We will not touch, even get close to
So
this.
you can't copyright something
AI.
that was generated by AI.
Nope. It is
That's
complete. It is
crazy.
mass media market now.
So wouldn't that scare the heck
Out of any
out
author
of
who tries to use
anybody, out,
AI.
out of any creative at all that
Yeah.
is trying to use AI for anything other
Mhm.
than base, marketing or base research or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, so that is probably why they're saying that. Yeah, it's going to need to be addressed legally.
It needs to be.
Yeah,
But
that's
it's advancing
crazy.
faster than these law
Right,
offices can do their work with.
right,
Because this is
right.
new. Nobody has ever seen this before. And so
Yeah,
there's not even laws for this.
right, right.
Right. It's
And
just
we know
like,
how quickly laws come together, and how quickly.
exactly.
Yeah, that is insane, dude.
Right?
Dude, that would scare the heck out of me
That
using
would
anything. Oh, like you said, cover or goodness gracious,
content.
what we were talking about on point 1 with the generated production of your
Right.
narrative storybook or
And
whatever.
that's where I don't know if that's gonna cross over into that, because
Right.
those platforms are so new right now in the
Yeah.
market. And
Yeah.
so I think the
So
Copyright Office is panicking, in my
so
opinion.
the story is yours. The words written are yours. Those are copyrighted.
Yep.
So and that's where it all gets tangled and
That's
and
the
and messed, right?
that's the
Because you're
blur.
using AI to create this gigantic, narrated, produced, composed thing, and none of that can be right now. The way the law is, none of that can be copyrighted.
None
But
of that.
your words
Your
are
content.
copyrighted, right?
Yeah. It's
That's
very,
yeah, that's
very gray right now.
yeah, super
Yeah.
super great. So that
Yeah.
so that one is interesting. It's really interesting that the first few of these all have to do with AI, because number 3, AI enabled translation and narration will open the door to more authors offering their books in new languages and formats. I looked at that
I
one. I said,
yeah.
cool. I like that. I mean,
Mhm.
that's cool. I don't think you're stepping on anybody's. Well, I guess you are, because you're stepping on the translator's toes.
The
Um,
translators that cost thousands of
right.
dollars.
The translators cost thousands and
That's
thousands
where
of
I have to
dollars.
be the devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I will always, always support human done work. That is
Sure.
not what this problem is here. But when you are working with mass amounts of words and
Yeah.
a manuscript that could knock somebody out if it hit you on the head, it is completely illogical as somebody who is paying bills, who isn't making thousands and thousands of dollars,
Right.
to invest in a translator to have their book published in a different language.
Right.
And so that's where that is so far beyond my mind right now, because the cheapest price I got was $4,000 to translate The
Yeah.
Blood of the Lion. And
Yeah.
that is, holy crap, that doesn't even include the editing
Right,
behind
that's
that.
cheap, right?
That's
Because
just
you
translation
gotta think that after it's translated, there's gonna be just a crap ton of editing,
for that
because
language.
yeah, the languages don't translate,
The same
apples to
at all.
apples, right, at
No.
all. So you can pay, you're probably looking at what, $10,000 when it's all said and done,
Oh,
for something like that, or a
or
monthly
six.
subscription to for $20 that will get you the highest level of this generative AI that can do it in,
Yeah.
15 minutes.
And that's what's so difficult too, because you see, and I'm going to say this as somebody who has, and you also provide services. It's like, you're in this market. We understand the publishing industry. We provide services for other authors and even to ourselves, and we do
Sure.
stuff like that. But notice, and you've probably seen it, prices constantly go up.
Always.
Formatting's going up.
Yeah.
Editing's going up. My editor went up. I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
if you go up any further, I'm going to have to start looking, bro,
Right.
because it's expensive.
Yeah.
And I can't justify that price back to back.
Right.
And because I still have other things in life and
Sure.
covers and marketing and things like that.
Yeah.
My editor's gone up. Formatting's going up. The cost of print is
The cost of
going
print
up.
is going up. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
IngramSpark released
Yeah.
an email.
Covers are going up. We got hit by that hard last year.
Covers,
Yeah.
and my last cover for The Scars of the Wicked, definitely pricier.
Yeah.
And so note that translates all the way over into the audiobook narrations,
Hmm.
into all sorts of the video studio creators, all of that, if you're looking
Right.
for trailer work, all of
Right.
that.
All of that.
And so that's where we bottleneck, right? People
Right.
want to work with human individuals, but we can't afford them anymore. And
Right.
so therefore AI is starting to look alluring
Right.
because it's cheap and
Right.
it still creates fundamentally pretty good work if you do the subscribed advanced models that
Right.
they offer now.
Right. And you use a good term, bottleneck, because, back in the day, you could work with people for, and I'm not blaming anyone. Everyone's prices
Not
go
at
up.
all.
Right. That's not,
The
yeah.
stores, I mean,
Right.
restaurants, everything. It's
It's
across the
inflation. It's
board.
it's just it's what's happening.
And people need to
But
pay their rent.
but you used to be able to get your work out there, a lot easier than you can now, because everything now is bottlenecked by the algorithm, by meta. Indies don't stand a chance anymore. They really
It's
don't,
it's
unless
expensive.
your game is raised to the highest level. And the only way to do that, if you don't have the money of a gigantic corporation behind you, is to use AI. And it's not necessarily the fault of the indies or the creators or the people that are providing services. It's the fault of this gigantic machine that just seems to bulldoze, you
Mhm.
know, the indie creators.
Right. And that's where
Right.
it's like, you know, I know it's very quick for people. It's exactly what you said in the first point leading into this is the villainizing, the rage. When
Right.
AI is brought up, people just go, "Don't you freaking dare bring that up," And it's like, hold up,
Right.
Let's everybody slow down and let's talk it through.
Yeah.
And that's just the platforms that have just been released even in the last 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
The last 2 months. I mean, there was a new video generator that was released in the last 6 weeks that is
Crazy.
more advanced than anything they've ever created. I mean, it is the climax of generative AI. And it's just like, it's like 20, $30 a month, and you get certain credits and you can create anything you want.
Yeah.
And
That's crazy.
so imagine that having video editing software skills, right? Even if you don't have all the skills you can teach yourself,
Right.
and you buy a video editing software for $60 and that's your lifetime subscription.
Yeah.
And you go in and you work on creating these videos and you
Yeah.
work on doing all the editing skills and things like that. And that becomes your trailers. Those are what you post instead of
Right.
paying $400-500 for a 30-second trailer
Right.
that for one specific type of marketing, whether it's a
Exactly.
teaser, a release date reveal, all of that.
Right.
That's where, and you have full control. And so I think, and for a lot of creatives that do work in that indie world, whether it's music, writing, artist, whatever, having that control has always been the reason we're involved, right? We
Right.
love the control. We love being able
Correct.
to do everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a very muddy line, but
Right.
you have to work smarter, not harder.
Right. No, I agree. It's the only way you'll survive. Because
Yeah,
again, like I said, this machine will roll you right over.
exactly.
And
And AI is
yeah,
not going anywhere.
right. No,
Doesn't matter
and
how
that's
much you
yeah,
whine about it. It ain't
right.
going
It's
anywhere.
not going anywhere.
No.
So number 4, new tools will remove the barriers to publishing, ushering in new voices and compounding existing discoverability challenges. Okay, so the way they're describing that is AI breaks down the last barrier to writing the book you want to write, whatever your barrier is: outlining, plot, writing craft, research, grammar, spelling, you name it. Every person on this planet has at least one or more stories to tell. We will see more and more of them. And just by the laws of probability, chances are high that we will see some fresh and good ones. So I hate this one.
Well, and that's blurring the line. That's saying anybody can write. Now, I always say anybody can write, but not everybody can tell a story.
Yeah.
That is my phrase I live by.
Yeah.
And that's where AI is kind of fundamentally challenging that, saying just upload your story to AI and suddenly everybody can publish a book.
Right.
But now, guess what? Copyright, that is free public domain. It
Right.
doesn't matter. If it is AI
Unless
generated,
they go back and start catching up and start changing that.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. Unless the copyright office is like, I guess maybe we'll try now.
Yeah. Right.
That's where I struggle because I'm like, don't use AI to create that content because that content should be coming from here.
Right.
It's just
Right.
like that's the use the tool, don't abuse it.
Right. And that's the one that really made me cringe, and that's the one that I think brings the anger and the resentment and those emotions that we were talking about in point 1
Yeah.
is that's not creating, that's not
That's not
creative.
creating.
That
No.
that's like going into an image creator and typing in something and getting the image and saying I painted that.
I'm an artist.
Right, I'm an artist.
No,
So
you're not.
so we have to understand. I think going through these points, it really helps. Like you said, we have to think through it because there are a lot of different levels
Mhm.
to this AI beast. But this is the one I think that everybody gets really riled up
Absolutely.
about. Whether you're a writer and we're talking about writing stories, whether you're a painter, we're talking about painting, artist, whatever, musician. Check out this song I just wrote and produced and played all the instruments on. No, you didn't.
No, you
You typed
didn't.
it. Yeah, right. So so I think that's the one that really angers everybody. But unfortunately, it's number 4 on the top
It
9
is.
predictions.
And that's
Number
what's
5,
scary. Oh,
number
God.
5, the need for a human touch will be more important than ever for
Yes.
readers, authors, and publishers alike.
Yes, yes, yes,
So
yes.
number 4 is saying now everybody's going to be an artist, an author, a creator, whatever, whatever. Number 5, the need for human touch is going to be more important than ever because of that.
I have preached that for
Yeah.
like a year, even in just broad life, not even talking about the publishing world in general, but like with the advancement of technology and the you go into a restaurant and suddenly the kiosk is your server, right? Or
Right. Exactly.
the pay on the kiosk, you don't have to look at me anymore.
Right.
When I can just abandon you halfway through your meal and you'll just pay on the kiosk and tip me. No, no, no,
Right.
no, 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 no.
Right.
I was a server, personal touch. That's what that's about.
Oh yeah.
And so that's where I completely agree with you, because I think with the advancing technology, no matter who we are and what we witness, we're still people. And people crave intimacy.
Right.
People crave relationships, physical contact, that human connection. And the technology is challenging that. And so I think it's going to be a rubber band effect. I think we're stretching with the rise of technology and the
Yeah.
ability to do all this, be independent, work remote. I can sit in my house for 7 days and not talk to anybody. I mean, I'm just throwing examples out,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And then we're going to hit that snag, and it's going to be like, holy crap, wait, I actually really like people and I need that contact. And that's
Yeah.
going to bleed over into everything.
Yeah.
People want that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I 100%. I'm not even no questions.
Yeah.
And that the fourth point still triggers me,
Yeah.
because it triggers me because I know people like you and me and so many other talented artists, whether you're music, writing books, whatever, painting, you spend hundreds of hours on one single project. You
Yeah.
pour your soul into it.
Yeah.
And to think that anybody can pick up an idea, throw it to AI, and say, write me a book.
Exactly.
And so I edited several, and I think I told you this, I don't know,
Yeah.
6-7 months ago. I was working through a client that was a small publishing press, because she had brought me on. I haven't heard from her in forever. I hope she's okay.
Nice.
But she would bring on these freelance writers, and these freelance writers, literally at one of them was 100% generated by AI, the entire story. And I finally sent it back and I said, this isn't a story. It is a cluster F.
Yeah.
Like, nothing makes sense. The characters don't make sense. These phrases are so repetitive. I said, it is just, this is AI all the way.
Yeah.
And she finally was like, you are correct,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I've seen, and now mind you, those are some of the younger models in AI, because
Exactly
they're
right.
advancing so fast. But how does that make you feel as an artist?
Right.
Come on.
Right.
Are you really an artist?
No, not at
That's
all.
right. Yeah.
And that's another reason I think that the point number 5, the human touch,
Yeah.
you'll still be able to tell there will not be heart in stories that are generated by AI. There
Yeah.
just won't be. There
Yeah.
there could be killer plot points.
Yeah.
There could be killer twists and turns, but there will be none of that human heart. There will be
And
none
it
of that.
falls flat.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It'll be an awesome, and flat's a good way. It'll be an awesome 2D, story that you can follow. But it will
Beautiful.
not be a 3D living, breathing story.
Well
Yeah.
said. Honestly, well said.
Yep. Number 6. Let's see if we go back to AI. Number 6. I loved this one. Check this
Okay.
one out. This is the one I was telling you. Remember what you said earlier.
Okay.
Number 6. Author businesses will thrive thanks to efficiency enhancements from new technology. And I'll give you a couple of the bullet points here. Authors are not just storytellers. They're expected to be content creators, brand managers, and community leaders. AI agents will handle many publishing and marketing tasks, allowing single author businesses to thrive by focusing on more creativity while efficiently managing operations. I'm going to go out on a limb here and predict the rise of authorpreneurship as much more dominant model in publishing going forward. Authors will increasingly act as CEOs of their own creative businesses, leveraging technology, direct sales, and global platforms to take control and create impressive micro publishing businesses all on their own because of AI.
Yep.
What do we think about this one? What do we think about this one? Because we all know already, anyone listening to this already knows we are the CEOs of our own businesses.
It
And
is an overtime.
you have to look at it that way. right? And
Yeah.
I know, even some folks on Anatolian Press, they don't quite take that initiative, right? But you have to, you need to. So hopefully everybody's listening to this, and I'll put this link in the show notes so people
Yeah.
can go back and read it because it's very interesting. But you have to treat it as you are the CEO. You have to treat it as a business, blah, 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 marketing, everything. Otherwise, you will get bowled over by that machine that we were talking about, right? You will be
Yeah.
lost. You will be stuck under the treads and you'll never get up.
Stuck under the dress.
It will happen. So, but this one, I think it was point 6, is saying that because of AI, so we had 2 with, or did we have 1 or 2 without AI? We're right back to AI.
We are.
Everything is AI here, which is crazy, right?
It
But
is.
number 6 prediction is that our businesses are going to thrive going forward if we accept AI.
I honestly, I agree.
Yeah.
So, and this is where I'm going to say, 6 years ago, it was the common thing was if you are not on social media as a business, you will be left behind and you will fail.
Correct.
And it was a fact
Yep.
because people back then even started craving more of that intimacy between the customer to business relationship.
Right.
And social media represented that. Now, AI is coming forward and it represents empowerment. It represents the ability to, exactly what you said, be the CEO and be able to have more time into that creativity because you can what's the word I'm looking for? Mitigate task toward an AI platform without spending hundreds of hours on an item. And then you can write and
And
you can
it
still do
yeah,
the marketing and
it
exposure.
it effectively bridges the gap,
It does.
so that you don't get buried under those treads,
Because
right?
let's face it, every author that listens to this knows exactly what it means to be buried. To know
Correct.
exactly what it means when you are exhausted, you are tired, you have content you need to create, you're trying to figure out how you can reach events, other
You're
platforms.
super discouraged. I
Yep.
mean, come on. The discouragement is huge and real in this community and in this indie business we're in.
Especially when you feel like you're not doing enough,
Right.
right? Because you simply don't have the time or the money to be
Or uh the technology or the options. You don't have any
right.
of it. Number
Right.
6 is saying, yeah, you do. It's here. You have to you have to accept it. You have to use it.
Think
You know,
smarter and not harder. That's the thing. It's like instead of going out and I'm going to say it, instead of going out and paying for a subscription to a stock image site, which I've done
sure.
for several years,
Yep.
and it is freaking pricey when it starts to add up.
Yeah.
And then you consider everything else, and maybe it doesn't have exactly what you're looking for. And so then you start looking at another stock image site, and then that one is even more than this one. And you can't really cancel this one because you have credits to use, and you
Right.
feel like you're in this constant game. And that is simply one extremely small factor in
Right.
this publishing world. Or you hop over to a AI generative image site that can create anything you want. And you
Anything.
all have to pay $13 every 3 months.
Yeah.
What would you use for marketing?
Right.
Honestly. And
Right.
you can have images, you can spend an evening and have 100 images
Right.
and exactly what you want.
Right.
So that's where it's like you have to start thinking, yes, it's easy to villainize AI, but when you have to get exposure and expand your reach and create that brand image, you have to utilize different tools. And even if that's AI,
Well,
that's
and
just,
think about I love the point here because we can talk about this. Think about the stock image site, that
mhm.
you're paying for. What is the actual artist behind that photo? What are they getting? They're getting paid pennies.
They're getting paid pennies, and some of them don't get paid at all
And some of
because
them
they
don't get paid
hand
at
over
all.
their, yeah.
It's just here so my picture can get seen or whatever, right?
Mhm. Yep.
So by using AI, which is the immoral route, or using the stock image site, which is the moral route, where's the money actually going? The
The
money's actually
big
going
the stock image site.
to the stock image site, to those people. It's not going to the artist. So you're not stealing from the artist. All you're doing is not giving your money to a business who figured out how to steal from artists, right?
Exactly.
Same thing as Spotify. You know, those
Yes.
musicians don't get anything. The way
Mm-mm.
they make their money is tours, merch, you know, etc. They don't get anything. They get pennies
Yeah.
from listening from your so when you talk about, you know, the stock image site versus AI, it's the same thing as like listening to musicians on Spotify. You're let's be honest, you're stealing the songs and you're paying Spotify.
Yeah. Who is the money going to?
Yeah, who's the money going to? So, you know, and I'm not. This is not an argument for
No,
or against AI. This
not
is
at all.
basically I just wanted to talk about these 9 bold predictions, and that's all it is. This isn't 9 bold predictions in AI for the publishing industry. No, this is the top 9 predictions in the publishing industry for 2025.
Yeah.
They just happened to all be. So, and I just wanted to let people know about them and talk through them. So where are we? We're on 7. Okay. This one's interesting too. Number 7, the popularity of hybrid publishing will rise, creating exciting new opportunities for both authors and publishers. Bullet points. Publishing has become more accessible to aspiring authors, and having a traditional contract or agent is no longer the sole entry point for having your book published. This basically goes back to music, where when digital formats started coming out, you know,
Yeah.
DistroKid and Spotify, now TikTok, things like that, musicians don't need a record deal anymore.
Right.
They don't. They don't. They can get it right out there, and they can get their stuff done. They're saying the same thing is going to happen with authors because of where we're at. But hybrid publishing, right? So while traditional publishers have always picked up successful self-published work, I'm seeing much more activity as well as flexible deal terms in the last few years. I believe it's by far one of the best industry developments I've seen in recent years. Good for authors, good for publishers, and possibly great for the future of the author-publisher relationship. So what they're saying in this point number 7 is that, you know, it used to be, if you want a chance of getting that book into a trad publishing deal, do not self-publish it.
Yep.
That's instant, you know, stake through the heart. You're done.
Yep.
They'll never pick it up. This prediction is, now that the publishing industry is starting to see some of the talent of indie authors and some of the popularity of, like we said, the TikTok famous authors, and how easily media, you know, social media can bring attention to indie authors, that trad publishers will now start to pick up more indie authors.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Gosh, that would be, they want a piece of the pie, right?
right,
It's a business for them. And so they see money when they see these popular books, whether indie or hybrid published.
right.
And that's why they're like, okay, let me get my hands on that.
Yeah,
And I think there is such and this could be a separate topic altogether that we could get into on a separate day, or today. Depends.
yeah. Depending on how much time we got. Yeah,
But I think in the last year, I've seen a big shift in the traditional publishing industry,
oh yeah, big
where
time.
they are really trying to modernize themselves in order to reach more of the readers, because there is a massive push in the last year for indie authors.
Yeah,
Because I think I think we broke that threshold. I
right,
think about, you could say 10 to 12 years ago, there was a huge taboo around it.
correct.
And 5 years ago, there was still a slight taboo. Oh, you're indie published,
Right,
But there was still a niche community that was like, heck yeah,
right, right.
And then 2 years ago, you started to see a little bit of an influx where I was like, oh, it kind of feels like there's a little bit more attention paid to indie authors, a
Yeah,
lot more opportunities involved. And then last year, I would really say there was a big shift. Like, we broke the threshold.
yeah,
And now indie authors are starting to get a lot of fame and they're starting to get treated a lot more respectfully and equally, and I
right,
say that, to the trad published
right,
authors.
right.
And it's I think for those conglomerate trad companies, it is damning to
Oh
some
yeah,
sense,
yeah.
because the I'm not going to say allure again because I keep saying that this time and I don't know what is going on with me.
I'll use generative AI to change every time you say allure or alluring. It'll change it to some other word, and it'll make you look
There
super
you go.
smart. So yeah,
Who knows what it's going to be, but it's
yeah,
going to be good.
yeah. It'll be great.
But it's like it's the stigma, the facade, the ooh, no,
Right,
only the 1% can get into that.
right.
I think that facade is crumbling.
Yeah,
And I think the trad publishing companies are really starting to rebrand themselves, and that's where I see that coming
yeah.
from.
Well, and yeah. I think the a lot of the smoke and mirrors is gone now too.
Yeah, yeah,
Right,
yeah.
because, it used to be I used to think that if somebody was trad published, they were a millionaire, right?
Right?
They just had, and the fact of the matter is, no, there's a big difference in being trad published and being a top selling, don't have to career author, right?
Right.
Big difference.
Right.
So I think that a lot of the smoke and mirrors, a lot of the mystique is gone
Mhm.
now, and now that trad publishers don't have that power, of the mystery, that that is benefiting indie authors as well.
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
mean, I've seen more indie authors in the last 6 months go viral than
yeah,
ever before.
yeah,
And that is extremely encouraging, I
yeah,
think, as an indie author, to see that, to see the hype being built up around them, because talent, people are really starting to realize, I mean, the indie verse is full of so much talent, whether
yeah,
you're an artist, a musician, a writer. And so, yeah, it's actually forced me to take a step back and really wonder about the query project I had that
yeah.
I've told you about, where I
Right, and you
said
said you're saving it because you don't want to indie publish it.
right,
Right,
because I said I owed it to myself to try.
right.
And having seen the blow up in the last year, especially in the last 6 months, I go, well, gosh,
Yeah,
because the tool for indie authors right now, and every company can agree to that, even the big conglomerate publishing companies, and that's why they're sitting there trying to pick up these authors, is social media.
yeah.
Is when
Right,
you go viral, everybody said it's the fear of missing out.
right,
And now suddenly you're the ink of heart, blood heart, or whatever that book that has been circling around.
right, right.
Everybody had the fear of missing out, Quicksilver, all of that.
Yeah,
Now you're buying, right?
right,
And conglomerates want that.
right,
And so that the power of social media is extremely still very powerful.
right.
And so
Now,
yeah,
and so I mean, this begs the question: is that the new 1%?
I don't know.
Is breaking into social media or getting that social media kick to where you do become viral? Is that the new 1%?
I
Is there
do
a
think there is an algorithm favoritism
oh yeah,
for some of
oh
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You see some things and you're like, "Oh, that's not really funny," or "I don't know
right,
how that went viral," or you
right,
see something and you go, "Oh my god, that's the cutest puppy video I've ever seen in my entire life. How does that only have 300 likes?"
right, right,
I think there is some sort of favoritism toward the algorithm, and I
yeah.
also think there's some randomness behind it too.
Yeah. By favoritism, can we also mean pay to win?
Oh, of
Yeah.
course. Of
Right.
course,
Right.
because
So there's
everything's now,
still
you pay
right.
for everything now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Did you hear the there is a rumor going around, and of course I believe it because this is this I mean everything works this way, but it remains to be seen if it's true or not. Beyonce won the country album of
I
the year.
don't even talk to me. I don't wanna talk about that. I will
Okay.
literally trigger on you, and
Oh,
I don't
of course, it's ridiculous, but because man, that song was awful. Gosh, I heard like half of it once, and I was like, bleh. So apparently Jay Z may have basically bought the Grammy. So he spent like 20 million on with radio stations to get the album played, 40 million with social media sites to and like something like 110 million on something else. So basically like just basically paid to win, just like just like
that's
people on social media do.
exactly
Right.
yes.
So, but the way you win Grammys are sales and plays and things like that. So
Yeah.
basically bought the win. Like I said, I don't know if that's true or not, but I would 100% believe it. But we're still, when we get down to it, yeah. The original question is the now the TikTok famous author that blows Sarah J. Maas. She blew up on that the one we were talking the fourth wing lady. She are these the new one percenters that
Exactly.
we strive for, and do we be discouraged when we see other people hitting the 1% and the hundreds of thousands of other authors that are just as talented are
Right.
not. Has it all
Right.
just changed? Has it all just changed from trad
Like,
publishing to, yeah? So
exactly.
which is crazy, but that's what number, I think it was number 7. That's what number 7 was talking about. Was
Yep.
there's going to be this hybrid, there's going to be this shift where trad publishing is saying, oh crap, we need to get with it, and look at these indie authors, and now maybe are the indie authors getting a little bit more powerful?
Yeah, I do think the indie authors are getting more powerful. And so I'm going to be really interested to see what happens in the next year, even 2 years,
Yeah.
because I think we're getting ready to see a massive shift. Like the North Americas, right, and the Canadas. I could not speak for the European countries just because I know they have a lot more pride in the traditional companies and
Mm,
businesses that they run.
okay.
And so it's going to be really interesting. I know the conglomerates have a stretch all over the world and all that, but there's a lot more pride over there. And
Okay.
so I don't know where I have no idea where we're going, but I do
Yeah.
think we're in the middle of a massive shift right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. I think that was a very, very interesting prediction.
Yeah.
Um, let's go to 8. Publishers and adjacent organizations will continue to actively fight against censorship. This one didn't really excite me at all. I don't care.
Yeah.
Censorship's always been a thing. Book burning's always been a thing.
Book bans, all that. Yeah.
Whatever, some people don't agree with this book. Some people don't agree with this book. Censoring art, whatever. I don't think censorship should be a thing. I think we all agree with that when it comes to art. Very
Art is
boring.
art.
I honestly think that one was just put in because that's the landscape of our culture right now, is to
Yeah.
have to talk about that. So
Yeah.
I think that one
Yep.
was kind of a softball. Dumb. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Number 9, last one. Authors who develop communities and provide their fans with unique experiences will be the best equipped to build sustainable careers. Bullet point. The rise of direct sales, physical products, and in person connection with readers will continue. Authors are now empowered to offer beautiful print editions, subscriptions, and in person events, bringing readers closer and offering them greater value while making a sustainable living. These are exciting times ahead.
I could not agree more with that bullet point.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is so much power put in the author's hand or the artist's hand now for more personalized, customized products that are extremely unique to the brand or the project.
Yeah.
And that readers love that. The buyers love that. The
Yeah.
artist supporters love that.
Yeah.
It's just that's from day one when I published The Blood of the Lion, that's what I strived for, which was that unique touch. That's why
Yeah.
you got the red book box.
Right.
That's why everybody got a hardcover wrapped in red. I mean,
Right.
all of that, because I wanted that personalized touch.
Now, where is the line? And of course, it's up to each individual.
Absolutely.
But where is the line between offering the personal touch and going effing bankrupt?
And that's what
Uh,
I was also going to say is
right.
there's a fine line. And that's where readers or supporters of artists have to understand that exactly what we were just saying 20 minutes ago is there is an exorbitant amount of costs now when it
Right.
comes to being an artist or
Right.
just being an individual in general, having to pay your bills.
Right.
Everything is inflated.
Right.
And so no matter what you're investing in, that's going to cost twice as much as it would have cost 5-10 years ago.
Right.
And so, yes, offer that personal touch. I could not agree more with that because people crave that intimacy between the business and the consumer.
Right.
Whether your business is publishing books or being an artist of some sorts or making music, but don't go crazy.
Right.
Don't freaking
Right.
take out $20,000 in loans,
Exactly.
like
Exactly.
because you have to be practical about it.
Right.
So yeah, because some of those, I mean, even the custom books where it's the foil print, the leather bound, things like
Right.
that. I've looked at a few of those, and because I found somebody that had published a beautiful special edition book, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And they actually tagged the company that did it. And I was like, I have to pull up this book because I still want to do a special edition trilogy.
Sure. Yeah.
I looked it up. It was like minimum 200 to 300 copies.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's impractical.
Yeah.
Who the heck will do that? And I'm sorry, I can't justify charging $100 for a special edition book.
Right.
I am not George R. R. Martin. And even
Right.
George R. R. Martin special edition collector's editions were $50 to $60 at Barnes and Noble.
Yeah. Right.
So I cannot go there.
Right.
And that's where it's
As
like,
much as you'd want to. As much as
yeah,
you'd
that
want
would
to.
be,
You'd love
if
to.
I was that
But
wanted as an
right.
author.
Exactly. Right.
Okay.
Right.
Pull my leg, you know?
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's just like you have these unique experiences, but sometimes these authors take out more than they can chew. And
Right.
it's just, I mean, oh my gosh, companies, please allow authors to buy books at 50 in bulk. You do not have to buy 200 or 300 or 500 copies to be a
Right.
client.
Right.
Like,
Right. Of
wow,
course, then on the company side, they've got the materials, they've got the
the
time, the
cost.
labor, and all that. And to
But they
give
would
it to
have,
you at a certain price, they have to have the bulk to make up. It's all,
right.
it's, yeah,
It rolls downhill.
right, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and another question to that would be how much of that personal touch could you use generative AI to produce? And at that point, if you use AI to produce it, is it a personal touch?
Now we're blurring the
Right,
lines.
now the lines are blurred. Anyways, I just wanted to hit those topics. I thought they were very interesting, and apparently they were because we talked about them for an hour.
That was fascinating.
Yeah,
What an
yeah,
intriguing article. And
right,
it's so refreshing to see a well-versed and well-informative article
yeah,
on AI for creatives,
right,
because there's so much, and we've talked about this a little bit, but there's so much hate and anger immediately put on
right,
AI and AI tools.
right,
And I'm going to tell you right now, if you use Grammarly or you use spell check, you're using AI.
right. And
And so,
we've talked about that before,
yeah,
but I think a lot of people don't understand that AI has been around
it's been around for
forever,
decades.
and we've used it forever.
Yeah.
Even saying, oh, yeah, that's ours. If we went to typed in other words for, if you did something like that, you've used AI because
Yeah.
it's in search engines, whatever. It just hasn't been as matured and developed and advanced as it is now.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
get off your high horse, and there's lots of things to discuss about it. And I'm not pro
Absolutely.
or con.
Nope.
I use it for this when we do our little thumbnails. I do silly little pictures of me and Chelsea the way we wish we looked. Yeah, it's all fun, right? So I don't make any money off of it, and I don't claim that I did it. Everyone knows that's AI,
Yeah.
But even to a further extent, would I use it for my business or for other parts, for marketing, for promotion, for to help me with the booking side, whatever, absolutely. I
Absolutely.
personally don't think there's anything wrong with that. Would I use it to write a book?
Heck no.
Absolutely not, because that's
No.
no,
Work
100%.
smarter, not harder. And
Yeah.
don't go out and throw thousands of dollars into something when, and I hate to say it, don't go through hundreds of dollars into a stock image site.
Right.
For example, when I remodeled my website.
Yeah.
To remodel my website and to use the image base that I used for that, it would have cost me hundreds of dollars to use, perhaps thousands for commercial use licenses for certain images.
Right.
Because you have to buy all those in order to use them if they're public and commercial use.
Right.
So it would have cost me up to several $1,000s to use images. That money I can't just throw out when I'm thinking, okay, I want to put money toward editing, cover design, hiring my designer again, doing the editor, all of that. So yeah, the website is based with AI generative images.
Yeah.
It's use it as a tool, but don't abuse it. That's my motto with AI. Is just, it's not going anywhere.
Right. And I think that the argument of you're stealing from the creators who actually created it, because generative AI pulls from everywhere or whatever.
Yeah,
I think that's a really, really, really gray line.
I do too.
I don't think it's really stealing. But again, I'm not educated enough on it. This is not an AI talk. Well, let's squash it there, because until we're educated, squash it. Until we're educated on it enough, I don't want to say yay or nay.
I do. I can steer this conversation into
Yeah.
a KDP Select versus IngramSpark discussion.
Oh, snap. Okay. Okay. KDP Select versus
Okay.
IngramSpark. So,
Remember the conversation? I sent you a text last night and I said WTF, like,
yes.
and so this is where, and we can kind of wrap it up here because I think what's really important for this is a freaking TED talk. Okay,
Okay, let's go.
we are TED talking it
Yeah.
for whether it's the 9 points to KDP Select, ebook status.
Okay, let's go.
I, I told you I got accepted into a Stuff Your Fantasy Kindle event,
Yes,
and
congratulations. Awesome.
it's a massive event,
Yeah.
and it's usually, I mean, I've followed it. I've been a part of the group for a year now, maybe a little over a year, and they've done a few events, and they just get bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, we're
Awesome.
talking like hundreds of thousands of people visit the website,
Killer.
kind of thing, in just a few days.
Yeah.
And mind you, you could get into the whole it's just a download or anything like that. Are they going to really read it? Those numbers look really good, though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Let's
You're
be
right.
honest.
They absolutely do. Yeah.
And they're good for the algorithm.
Right. It's all a numbers game anyways, so yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The algorithm loves numbers.
Right. Right.
So what I was telling you, and I was up way too late last night researching.
Oh no.
But exactly. So several years ago, IngramSpark would do a price match where they would sit there and they would price match with your Amazon, and you
Mhm.
could price an ebook for free.
It's just
Uh,
yeah, because on Amazon you can do like a free promotion or a free sale for like 5 days or whatever. So
if only
Ingram,
in KDP Select, though.
right, right.
Yeah.
Um, but Ingram used to
Ingram used to
match
be
that.
able to price match because
Gotcha.
they've gotten a little bit stricter with their ebook uploads, and I don't know why. I had a massive issue with the third book ebook, and it was the same format, same everything,
Huh.
and IngramSpark was just like, I will not take this, and I'm like, this is the same format. So that
Weird.
being said, my ebook for the third book is only on Amazon because
Okay.
it's been a nightmare. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know what your issue is.
Yeah.
But my first and second book are on IngramSpark.
Before we continue, let me tell anyone who doesn't know yet.
Oh.
KDP Select is
Oh.
Amazon's e-reader,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah,
you go
yeah.
on your Kindle, whatever, you get your ebook. KDP Select, if you enroll in that, it automatically puts your book into Kindle Unlimited, which is great. It gives people the ability to download it for free, whatever. It there are some perks to it, but the main con is that you agree to be exclusive to Amazon.
Yep.
Okay. So you do not get to put it on any other ebook site, Barnes and Noble, Nook, anything,
Apple, all of that.
or the overseas distributors. Nothing. You are explicitly Amazon.
And IngramSpark is a wide distributor.
Correct. English Spark. So you're basically limiting your distribution to just Amazon, but Amazon controls 80% of e-reading.
Yes.
So keep that in mind as we go through this, listeners. That yeah, Amazon controls 80%. So you're losing out on 20%, but that 20% is the expanded distribution. It's not just
Yes.
20% of the same pie. So, anyways, I just wanted to kind of
No.
yeah,
You're totally right. We should have led with that because we
yeah, yeah,
jumped right into it.
yeah.
Because I'm like, I need to talk about this. But anyways, so IngramSpark changed, and they're like, basically, I looked last night because I dropped my prices. Which, mind you, I did not realize my ebook prices were still standardized at like $3.99 when I was doing $9.99 on Amazon, and I was like, oh
That's
crap, this is
great.
like
Yeah.
such a lost opportunity
Right.
that
Right.
I've been
Right. Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
So I changed that, and it went in overnight as so other wide distributors can see the actual pricing
Yeah.
that I've been using for my ebooks. But when I went to go to zero, it wouldn't let me. And that's where I was like, okay, that changed
Yeah.
because it basically said, and it's, because you do an agency price, a library price, and the retail
Right.
price. And the library price, they usually want a little bit higher anyways.
Right.
But then it was airing out and saying, oh no, you can't do that because it has to be at least 99 cents for the library price. But if you do $0, it doesn't, for some odd reason, it says, nope, you can't. Sorry, you cannot
Huh.
do a free book. You cannot do anything less than 99 cents for the library. it has to cost something. And so I was kind of looking around. I'm a little frustrated, right?
Yeah,
Because you're
yeah.
thinking, okay, this is like a massive event,
Right.
and I
And
have
you're under the wire at this point, right? Because you didn't expect this hurdle, and now you have the
I
hurdle, so you
actually
have
had
to.
no idea, and I
Yeah,
was not expecting to be accepted. I have not been accepted for the last 2 or 3 events
yeah,
because it's a
yeah.
mass out, lots of applications get
Sure.
put
Yeah,
into it.
yeah,
And so I got the email and I was like, "Oh crap."
yeah.
you know. So I started looking around and I was talking to a few authors and they're like, "Oh, go to Draft 2 Digital because they will price match and they still do it." And an author said she used it back in November and that's great. And so
Mhm.
I looked and they said they'll price match, but certain vendors, aka Amazon, will not price match to $0 if it's not a KDP Select item.
Right,
And so it will not be free.
right.
And so it still sits at 99 cents. And I'm like, then what's the point of trying to get out of IngramSpark or any of that if I can't go for free? Right. Because
Yeah.
I thought maybe I'd switch over to Draft to Digital. This is all happening at 10 o'clock last
Right,
night
right, right.
because I'm thinking, okay, what is going on and how can I leverage the wide distribution still,
Yeah,
but still get that free book
you can.
that is the stuff the Kindle event is very known for.
Yeah,
And
you
so,
can't because that's what
yeah,
KDP.
they want.
Yeah, that's what they want. They want that exclusivity, and they're going to make it very, very difficult to
Right.
get that any other distribution outside of them when you sign up for Select. Yeah,
And that's what is so frustrating is because several years ago, there was a lot more openness between the massive distributors. And now, and even I saw it in an article yet last night at 10 o'clock, was that there is a lot more competition growing between these massive distributors.
yeah, sure.
And so, and that's
Which may go back to
creating,
whatever point that was, but that the indies, because indies self-publish, indies use Ingram, and indies use
yep,
Amazon, and so there's obviously there's more money to be had here. There's more,
yep.
the popularity is rising, so obviously they're going to start tightening their reins and pulling away from each other as cooperative. So very interesting.
It's extremely interesting.
Yeah,
And that's where, gosh, you have to wonder where is the benefit and where is the, okay, you're overreaching, right?
right.
And last night I'm sitting there and I'm like, do I pull my book, my ebook from IngramSpark,
Yeah,
and do I enroll these in KDB
and
Select?
Select. Yeah. Now, because you said you had issues with
I had issues with the third book, The Dance of Destiny.
Dancing. Okay, okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So is that since it's only on Amazon, is that enrolled in Select already?
It is not
Okay,
because I think any author who hasn't done KDP Select can reason with this is I was very turned off by the exclusivity
correct,
contract.
correct.
That's where I really struggle. Yeah,
Right. That's why I haven't done it for any of the Anatolian Press books, because I
yeah.
don't like that exclusivity. Now, my question is, we don't have to talk numbers, but how much do you make? Here's the question: how much do you make in ebooks on IngramSpark?
On Ingram,
Yeah.
I would not much
Right.
at all
So,
cuz but it all comes from Amazon. I get
correct.
royalty payments all the time from Amazon.
Correct. So that's the thing, and that's why I always try to tell the Anatolian Press authors when they're like, can we get more into Ingram? Like, if I could show you the numbers, I have a couple books on Ingram. I don't get anything. We don't get any money from Ingram. It's like
Dude, Ingram
it literally is pennies, and
it
heaven
is.
forbid you get a return or something, then
Oh
you're negative.
gosh.
And it's
Right.
like, dude. So I mean, Amazon just monopolizes the distribution for indies right now. Now,
Right.
once you are a Sarah J. Moss or was it Stephanie Yaros or whatever her name is, uh,
Rebecca Yaros.
Rebecca Yaros. Stephanie, I was thinking Stephanie Myers, Twilight lady.
So
Stephanie Myers.
good.
No, the Rebecca Yaros. Once you're at that level and you have people clamoring for your books, yes, absolutely, go to Ingram, get that wider distribution. But right now, it's like, if you look at it logically, a lot of people do not like when I get logical, right?
Right.
Because it's like pooping on their parade or something.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, logically, you know, Ingram is not worth it for most indie authors
Ebooks.
right now. It's not. And you just proved it by saying, so come at me if you want to, but I really don't care. I'm just being logical.
Yeah.
For the most indie authors, Amazon is really all you need. It's not good to have all your eggs in one basket. So Ingram is good for that. I'm not going to actually. I will, because we're homies. We can do this. I was gonna say I would not, tell you one way or another, but honestly, pull your ebooks from Ingram.
Yeah. That's where I'm
I
thinking.
I don't think, because you're not making much off of them. Most of the distribution is Amazon. I'd say probably 98% of your funds or of your royalties come from Amazon. I would say, if
Oh,
it's anything
100%.
like Amazon Presses, yeah,
Yeah.
it's Amazon all the way. So throw it on KDP Select. You get in better graces with Amazon. You get your book in this thing that you're getting into, and then you're in Kindle Unlimited, which was another
Right.
perk.
And
So
you
people
can
can get,
do promotions
yeah,
and
you can do promotions.
yeah,
They do give you perks for being there.
they
That's my,
do.
yeah,
They do. And that's where I'm like really I'm trying to rebrand. I think any author can I really 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 encourage any author to, no matter how long you've been doing something, to reflect and wonder if you want to keep doing that.
yeah,
And I have adamantly kept everything not exclusive with Amazon,
yeah.
just because I am prideful and I wanted the wide distribution for my ebook.
That's exactly what I said when I'm talking about, sometimes I poop on people's parades,
Yeah.
because
I
people want to say, yeah, I'm on Barnes and Noble's website. Cool, dude. It has zero
Who's
star
buying?
reviews, and you've never sold a book, and you're not going to sell a book over there because nobody knows who you are, because you're a freaking indie author who has not hit that 1% yet. Let's be real
Exactly.
for a minute, okay? Sorry. Okay,
There's
you got triggered.
10,000 books
You got
on
triggered
Barnes& and
last
Noble.
week. I'm getting triggered this week. Let's be real. It's the Let's Get Real show. You don't need to be on Barnes and Noble website, because nobody knows who you are. Let's be fucking real. Get out of here.
That is true.
It is true.
It is true. And I
Right.
beg of anybody listening to this to revalue yourself and wonder, where can I get the most value from my work that I put hours into,
Right.
hundreds of hours and hundreds to thousands of dollars into?
Right.
Where can I get the most value? Like I texted Micah and I was like, I am having a crisis
Yeah.
because I am realizing that the most logical approach moving forward, especially with the indie hype growing and the shift in the trend and the lot more popularity around indie authors in general, is, am I hurting myself with my pride
Right.
by keeping an ebook on a market distributor that has been primarily built for physical books, mind
Right.
you?
Right.
And I get physical books. Physical books are released. That is, I have good success with that. But ebooks, no.
Right.
Ebooks on Amazon is where it's at. And that's where I'm thinking, moving forward, especially I was thinking ahead, the standalone I want to publish, which would really, I think, have a phenomenal success on a KDB Select program, because it's going to have action adventure. It's going to be freaking epic from start to finish.
Yeah.
And so it's not just even an introduction to a massive saga, it's a standalone in the same world.
Yeah.
And so I started really thinking, and I'm like, I'm wondering if I need to change my approach this year and just see. It's not forever. You
Right.
don't have to be in
No,
KDB. It's not a blood
right.
contract.
Nothing's forever. You have to experiment, and sometimes you have to take risks, and maybe those risks will
Yeah,
really pay off. Sometimes they won't. That's the name of the game. But
that
sometimes,
is.
taking a risk or making a change, even if it's outside of your comfort zone, it might come back, tenfold.
It might.
Yeah,
And that's where I'm wondering, because, and we'll have to get into this next week or something, but like I'm really trying to take 2025 as a rebranding year and
yeah,
to really change the methods of how I market, expand my marketing and exposure, and take on new tools and directions.
yeah.
And that's extremely important to me, especially with this world that I've spent a million hours
Right.
into since the day it was birthed.
And years
Like,
and years of blood,
I'm
sweat, and
like,
tears. Yeah.
it is owed massive respect,
Right.
and
And
I
all
want to give it to that.
everybody listening who is an indie author, please, take what Chelsea is saying seriously. It And what we talked about in point, I can't remember what point it was, but that you have to be your own CEO and you have to be your own publisher or marketer and publicity agent and all these things. You have to do it. You have to take it like a business. Otherwise, it won't ever, ever, ever be anything other than just, yeah, I wrote a book,
Yeah, I wrote a
you
book.
know, which is great, which is great. Yeah, I wrote a
Yeah.
book. Yes, you wrote a book and it is great. But if you want to get to that next level, it's on you.
Yes.
You have to do it,
You
you
have
know?
to do it. You
Yeah.
owe it to yourself. That's where it's like I'm having that like mental like identity crisis
Right.
as an author.
Even traditionally published authors, we read that in an article. I don't know. It was a long time ago in one of our first episodes, but that article saying that even traditionally published authors are now having to be their own marketer and their own
Yeah.
publicity agent
Jay
because
Kristoff, the
right,
dude, Empire of the Damned or
yeah,
whatever.
right.
Yeah.
There's no money even in the trad publishing for anybody other than the high level people. So all the
Yeah.
other hundreds and thousands of authors that are traditionally published, they're not getting any marketing love. They're not getting
Yeah.
any of that kind of love. They have to do it themselves.
Yep.
So whether you're indie or trad, if you're not, one of those big players, you're doing it yourself. And if you're not going to do it yourself, you're going to get dropped by your publisher. You're going to get dropped, which is not a bad thing. I've seen a lot of people getting dropped lately from trad publishing that are going over to indie publishing. It's all a
Yes.
quagmire right now. It's
It
all up in the
is.
air. But the bottom
Yeah.
line is take this seriously as a business, or don't. You don't have to. If that stresses
No.
you out, if that's not something you want to do, if you just want to write books and get it out there for whoever wants to read it, great. But if you want that next level, yes, take it seriously, become your own CEO, become your own publicist and marketing agent, do all that, and take risks where you can, where you need to. I think you need to pull your ebooks from Ingram.
You say such a powerful thing because when I first started writing and I did The Blood of the Lion, The Mark of the Damned, and The Dance of Destiny, I was not comfortable on the business side
Yeah,
at all. Like it actually gave me severe anxiety. I couldn't handle both the creativity and the business. I was, and it could have been just a point in my life between work and,
sure,
some big things happened. And I was just like, between that and trying to get the books out, I just could not physically grasp the business aspect of it. I'll be the first to admit that. I was just here to write books and post on social media and say, look at my book,
right, right,
and there's nothing wrong with
not at
that.
all,
Everybody is in their own journey as an author.
right,
And you don't have to, the day you decide to publish a book, be like, okay, then I have to be a business and this is what I'm going to do. And that's what
right,
I'm going to do. No, 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 no. Hone your craft and take care of it,
yeah,
encourage it, stoke those embers, and let it build into something. And when you're ready and you're comfortable, then you can take on that next step. And
right,
that's where I feel like I've stepped into is really embracing the fact that, as we've said, like I've put years and years and years into the Varelian world. And I'm now in a point where I want to see it get bigger. I want to see it to get more recognition and I want to spend more time in it, hence the standalone, the other project with the development edits that may or may not be a query project now.
right,
It's just like, now I'm ready for that. And I'm seeing it. And it's kind of like a weird mind shift change where you just go, oh, well, I want to do that.
yeah,
I want to expand it.
yeah,
And so, yeah, it's just don't think because you're a writer, you have to have that business mentality right
right,
away.
correct,
Just
right,
write and take care of that creativity first and then watch the rest of it fall into place because I have been writing for years and years and years. I've been a published author for since 2022 and I am just now starting to figure out that maybe I want to take on more of the business
right,
approach.
right. Just
So,
don't
yeah,
expect
results
growth.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
No,
without the effort, because it's not.
exactly.
Yeah, that's not going to
Exactly.
happen. Yeah, yeah,
Yep, it takes time and consistency.
yep, yep.
Yeah. So thank you for hearing my crisis. I actually think when I'm done with this call, I'm going to email. You have to email IngramSpark to pull your ebook. I figured that
Oh,
out.
you can't just in
Nope.
so because with the physicals you can just disable distribution.
Yeah.
But so
No,
with
I
the
tried
physical
last night.
with the ebooks you have to actually email them.
Yep. I tried last night.
Interesting,
I'm going to pull
interesting.
in again because it might have been that I already did changes and it wouldn't let me.
It could be that.
But I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
see an article on a Reddit thread and then another one from a year ago that said you have to email for the ebook to be disabled.
Interesting.
And I was
Interesting.
like, you little effing bastards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a power move.
yep, and exactly. It's another one of those control things between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
100% power move. Yep.
Oh, I
Yep.
feel really good. I feel
Good,
good.
man. I'm glad we had this talk. This was maybe our longest one in a while, and it what's so interesting is we did very little us.
Bantering.
Yeah, we did very little us, and a lot of like it's almost like we had a professional episode or something. I don't know what's that about.
It's like we showed up today.
Right? Yeah,
Except
it's
for the
like
beginning.
yeah. Don't expect that again,
No.
listeners. Do not expect that every time.
Ooh, that's once in a blue moon,
Yeah.
people.
One other thing, real quick, before we go, is I had some free time last night, and I started working on a Discord server for our writing group.
WTF.
Yeah,
Deep.
yeah.
I love that. I just reactivated my Discord
Sweet.
literally last night.
Sweet. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this writing group that everyone can get involved in. It'll be invite only, so you'll need to let me know if you want it. I'll send you the code.
Yeah.
But and Chelsea and I will be on it, and it's just going to be a straight up writing group. Like if I'm writing and I'm like, wow, I'm proud of this line, I'm going to post it in Discord. What do y'all think? Do you like it? Is there anything else, Chelsea? If you're writing or reading something, even if you're reading something, oh, this was great, bam, post it in Discord. Anybody else who's in it, you have a question, you think this is good, you think this is bad. The articles I find, maybe I find an article that I'm not going to put we're not going to talk about here, bam, I'm posting in Discord. So it's just going to be a place, it's going to be like our own private social media just for us and for our special listeners and special friends who just kind of want to be a community. It's going to be an awesome community, and I'm stoked. So I started that last night. I'm really excited to see where it goes.
Okay, let me know when it's up and running because I'll join and hop over there and we can start.
It'll be awesome.
Oh my god!
We'll just share. We'll just share.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I think it'll be so cool. It'll be like I said, it'll kind of be like our own private social media. Like just like where you and I and some invited friends can just hang out and and you
ask
get
questions,
Discord
talk about anything.
Right, talk about anything. You can get Discord on your phone now.
Yep.
You don't have to be afraid of posting if you've got this cool idea. It's like you don't have to be afraid of posting if somebody's stealing it. You don't have to be afraid of having annoying people in it because it's just going to be people we love. I'm super stoked about it. I've been Micah.
I've been Chelsea.
We have been whatever this is. You have heard today the 9 most popular predictions of 2025 in the publishing industry, and you have learned a little bit about KDP Select and Chelsea's decision, and you got to see me triggered. We love you all.
We
Good
love
night.
you. Good night. Deuces.